Hi friends, it's Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory and home of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have something brand new for you, and I'm really excited about this. I'm going to show you an entire class. Here is one of my cards, and so we'll be making this today. And I'll be explaining how it works, but it's a free class. You can watch absolutely free. And you can then get the packets if you place a $60 order before tax and shipping by the end of January 3rd. Okay, so that's how it will work. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. But let's get right to the class. And I can tell you about some other things happening at the same time. So let's just adjust this a little bit so we make sure we can see everything really well. So what you're seeing there on the screen right now are the card packets that you'll receive when you place a $60 order with me before tax and shipping by the end of January 3rd. So I have all of the card packets made up. I have all the pieces cut, all the die cutting done for you. You can see this one has dry embossing. I have that all done for you as well. The bits of ribbon, the embellishments, everything will be included for you. And I will also send them to you, ship them to you for free. So you don't have to pay any postage. Just place an order of $60 or more by the end of January 3rd to receive these 3 packets. And I'll also send you the link to this video, which I will be posting later as well. Okay, so let's get right to our project, and let's see, which one do we want to do first? Well, let's do a bit of a warm-up. Let's do this one. And I should say, too, that all of these cards are simple stamping. So there's just minimal stamping involved, and you just mostly have to put the card together. So they all feature the beautiful Winter Meadow Suite and the Magical Meadow stamps and dies. So here's the Magical Meadow stamp set, and it's really beautiful. Today for this particular class, since it's simple stamping, we're just going to be using the sentiments. So it's not too hard to put together, but tomorrow I'm going to be doing a card on my blog that will show how to use some of these elements as well. So you can come back and see that tomorrow. All right, and if you're looking for me online, just go to www.juliescraftaddict.com and you can find the whole thing right there. Okay, so let's get on with our card first thing. Okay, so which packet do we need? Looks like this one. And I should say also that this card design is one that I based on this particular card, so it's closed a bit to suit my own tastes and supplies. So I really like that about our paper crafting industry, that we're encouraged to do that. To case things. It means copy and share everything. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to use this lovely little die cut tag. Let me grab the tags for you so you can see what they look like. So this is from the set called Designer Tags Dies. So here's what they look like. So there's the tag we're using today. I'll just show you so you can see. There's that one. It comes with some other pieces as well. This is a beautiful one that I've used, and also the little butterfly on occasion. I love this large tag. I've done lots of stuff with that in the past. Then you have this fancy one here and this small one over here. But today we're going to use this medium-sized one. So those are called, again, Designer Tags Dies. And I'll have on my blog, if you just click the link that is here, that's showing on your screen to learn more, that'll take you right to my blog, and I've got all the supplies listed right there. Okay. So I'm going to stamp this. The colder weather brings us together. So I used Blueberry Bushel ink. And in fact, I used only 2 inks for all of these cards. So it's just Blueberry Bushel and Shaded Spruce. But for this card, we just need Blueberry Bushel. So you don't need a lot of supplies to do this. You just need the stamp set and the inks, basically. All right, so let's get out our stamp and we'll get going with that right away. Oh, hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining today. I hope you enjoy all the projects. All right, so let's see. I should say, too, that although I can offer you the card packets, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, for free when you place a $60 order before tax and shipping by the end of January 3rd, It's possible that I may need to make some substitutions in the ribbons or things like that, or any part of the packet if I run out of a certain supply, in order to get them to you in a timely fashion. I've got lots though, so hopefully that won't happen, but if it does, I'll just make a substitution that matches, so no worries there. All right, so let's see. This is Blueberry Bushel. I love working with this color. It's so pretty. Anybody else like Blueberry Bushel? I just think it's fantastic. I love it. And this is a blueberry region where wild blueberries are really common. And I have them every day on my cereal when I sit down in the morning, so I just love them. I find it works super well as a sentiment when we're stamping, so it's really great. It's really dark and comes out well. So I'm just going to use my Simply Chamois here. If you haven't got one of these, I really recommend them. It's just this foamy piece of stuff you get from Stampin' Up. Now, if you have a new one, it looks like this. So you can tell I've used this a lot. And I've had this one a year or two, I think. But basically, you just put them under water, get them wet, wring them out gently like you would a dishcloth. And then the water alone cleans your stamps. And that works for most of the inks that Stampin' Up sells. There are a few exceptions, but all the main colors work like this. So you can just get it completely clean with simple water and this little tool. And I just keep it in an empty stamp box because that works really well. It keeps all the mess in one place, and I love that. All right, so I'm just going to put this back. And we'll do that. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is actually just put the card together. So let's get out all the pieces and we'll see what we need to do here. Okay, so I have a Blueberry Bushel panel. I have this panel of the lovely Winter Meadow paper. And this is fortunately not going to retire at the end of the catalog on January 3rd. However, the bundle, the beautiful Magical Meadow bundle with the stamps and dies is retiring. So if you need that set, now's the time because it could go out of stock at any time. It's just available until the end of January 3rd or whenever it goes out of stock, whichever comes first. So I'm going to use my brand new Stampin' Up bone folder here. I've had one from another company for years and years, and I just bought this Stampin' Up one so I'd have another one to use in classes. And so I can testify that these things last a long time. I think my other one's 30 years old and it's still going. So no problem at all. This is the thick basic white paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these two pieces of DSP together. So what I like to do is I like to flip them over. And then I just use simple household tape to stick them together. I got a little bling in my thing here. I like all these glittery things. Anybody else a fan of glitter out there? Not the kind that makes a glitter storm in your house, but the kind that's contained like that. I like that kind. A little bit of bling just makes me happy. All right, let's see what we can do here. So I'm just going to tape these together. And I do this for the simple reason of making sure that they stay together perfectly, for one thing, and also it's easier to adhere them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to take that, and I'm going to use less adhesive than I would if I had to adhere both pieces separately, because now they're attached, so I don't have to glue all of those little bits anymore. So let's see, I'm going to just stick that right on there. Okay, and then we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals and put this panel right onto our thick basic white cardstock. And while I'm doing that, I'll tell you about something else that I have coming up through the end of January 3rd, and that is product shares. If you're wanting to get in on some of the papers, embellishments, ribbons, or cards and envelopes that are in the brand new catalog, which goes live on January 4th, and if you need a catalog, let me know. I'm sure I can hook you up with one. The product shares allow you to try all the new items, like all the new DSP papers or all the new ribbons, all the new embellishments, whatever, or at least a selection of them, whatever I've got organized there, for a lot less than it would cost to buy full packs of all of them. So you get a variety of items from the new catalog without paying for entire packs of everything. You just kind of get to sample them. So if you're interested in those, go to www.juliescraftaddict.com and you can click on product shares. And I've got those open and ready for registration. And I'll put the order in when the catalog goes live on January 4th. All right, so you can see I've got a ribbon here. So this ribbon is Lost Lagoon. I'll show you which one it is. So it's this one here. So you've got the color listed on one side, Lost Lagoon, and on the back, it's called 1/4 inch bordered ribbon. Kathy says, so pretty the paper is. Oh yes, I agree. I love this paper. I'm so happy they're not retiring it because I haven't had enough fun with it yet. I just find this a super pretty paper. Now, in your packet, you will receive a length of ribbon, but when I'm just doing this myself at home, I just feed the ribbon through the tag like this, or make a bow or whatever when it's still on the spool, because that way I don't have to cut off so much of it when I'm done. So I'm going to use my paper snips here. And let's see, let's trim this side first. See if we can get that trimmed nicely. So I like these scissors because they're very sharp and trim ribbon really well. I just find them great for cutting out things as well. If I don't have the dies for something, these are a great second choice, which I use a lot. So yeah, these are called paper snips, and those are listed in the supply list. If you go to www.juliescraftaddict.com or just click on Learn More here, that'll take you right to that website and my blog post today with all the supplies listed. Okay, whoops, that's not quite even. All right, we won't fuss too much about this, but I want that a little more even there. There we go. Okay, so we've done that. So we're going to use our Stampin' Dimensionals here. And I'm just going to use a couple because these stick really well, these little things. So that will do a good job. And we're done with our ribbon here. All right, and I'll put that on. And if you have any questions about any of these projects, just let me know. I'd be happy to help you out with answers to anything that I can. And now we're going to put on our little embellishments. So you can see I have one up there and two down here. And they are the iridescent pearls, basic jewels. So that's what I'm going to put on there. All right, so I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool. I really like this for this sort of thing. So it has putty on this end here, so you don't have to pick up these little tiny things and try to maneuver them with your fingers. Now I have small hands. I wear a 3.5 ring, so I have really small hands like kids. And I find it hard. So if you have larger hands, oh my goodness, I think it'd be very, very difficult. Or people who have kind of mobility difficulties with their hands, one of these tools is a lifesaver. It's so good. So let's see, we'll use one of these little guys. There we are, you can see it's just on the tip there. And I'm going to put it down there. And we'll do one more. All right, like that. Okay, so there is our card number 1. So that's it. It's pretty simple to put together. So now we're all warmed up. So let's go to something that has a little more in terms of steps to it. Let's try this one. I always like in my card classes to start with something fairly easy, build up to kind of a more involved project, and then at the end of the class do an easy one again, so that we do kind of the hardest work in the middle, and then we don't get too frustrated at either the beginning or the end, and we're kind of worked up to it in the middle. So that gives you a sense of what my card classes are like. And again, if you go to www.juliescraftaddict.com, you'll see my upcoming classes, which are available to register for until the end of December. So New Year's Eve is the last day. And I do have a number in person and online. Okay, so this card, I really like this. This is based on a make and take that I participated in. I didn't create it. At the Atlantic Stampers Demonstrator Retreat in Truro, Nova Scotia in September. And I really liked the project, so I just tweaked it to suit myself. So we're going to make that one next. And here's our little card packet. So you can see I got all this stuff in here. That's what you'd receive in the mail. And here we go. So this is a die, made with a die rather. And that is made with this series of dies here. So you can see they're nested labels or nested tags. And they are called Something Fancy. And I have used these a lot. I find they're really, really helpful. So I recommend those ones. And you'll see them on, I believe, our next card as well. Okay, so what I did was I cut one out in basic white. And then I also cut one in Moody Mauve or Mauve. It seems in Utah they call this color mauve, but I'm used to calling it mauve. I'm not sure what everybody here watching calls it, but Moody Mauve, mauve, whatever. And so see, I cut out the larger tag in that color and then one in white as well. And you can see here I used the blueberry bushel, but you could use a number of colors. You could use that mauve, you could use Lost Lagoon, you could use shaded spruce. Like there's so many colors that would match. But I'm just going to do what I did in my sample card here and keep it simple. So we'll use blueberry bushel again. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so we want Winter Wishes. So that's this one here. All right. And we'll just pick it up like that. Tap it several times. Looks like we got good coverage there. And if you're not used to the stamp set, I would suggest stamping it first on a piece of scrap paper, just to make sure that it's stamping the way that you want, especially if your ink pad is brand new or it's one that you haven't used in a while, so you're not really familiar with how juicy or how dry it is. I will often stamp off to the side first, just to make sure. That means that you won't kind of wreck your piece of paper that you went ahead and die cut and so forth. So that's what I always recommend. I've been using this stamp pad quite a bit lately, so I'm familiar with how it works, and I was confident I could get a good result the first time, so I didn't do that. But I do recommend it. Okay, let's see. Did I get that all off? You can see this is a much loved and used block. It's just from a kit, actually, from one of the kits collection. I find those blocks to be the ones I use the most when I do my projects, unless I have a really big stamp that needs a special one. I just use those kit ones. Kits are a great way to get all the basic equipment because they come with everything, including the blocks. So, and then you get a little stamp pad as well, so you can build your ink collection. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's attach that. We're done with our stamping, and we're done actually with Blueberry Bushel for this class. So we will just put this on. And if you're just joining me now, the card packets that I'm using will be available to you for free when you place a $60 order with me before tax and shipping by the end of the 3rd of January. I'd be happy to send you the packets with all these supplies. All you do is add the stamp set and the ink. And the stamp set will be gone as of the end of January 3rd because they're retiring it. I think it's a beautiful one. I kind of wish they were keeping it around, but then again, there's all kinds of fun new stuff that's coming out next week, so that will be good too. All right, so we've got our tag made. Now let's take out all these pieces. So this one, this is a basic white panel, and you can see I dry embossed it. So I'm going to show you what I used to do that. And you'll have the embossed panel as well when you get your free card packet with the $60 or more order. So this is the Timber 3D embossing folder. So that's what I did. I embossed that panel. And I cut out a big circle. And the big circle is actually from Stylish Shapes Dies. So you can see it's nested squares, circles, and labels. And that would be the biggest circle there. I just cut that out of the middle. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put together this little window with the paper through. So this is the what's it called? Not Magical Meadow, Winter Meadow paper. And we just want it through like that so we can see. So what you could do is you could flip it over and you could put tape to keep it on there. You can use glue to glue it on. You can do however you would like to do, basically, to make that work. Let's see, which way is the front here? I guess it doesn't really matter. I think it goes this way, though. I think I like it better that way, at least. But you can use either side because it embosses both directions, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, so I think what I will do is use my multi-purpose liquid glue, this stuff here, and I'm just going to put a very, very small line of glue all the way along the edge. Gotta get my glue going here. I think I left the cap off a little too long the other day, so that's the problem here. I'm just going to get a scrap piece of paper here, get it going again. All right, so I'm going to make a blob of glue here by pressing it, I'm sure. Yep, I did. Look at that. But now it's going again. So we just want a little line of glue all the way along the edge. You don't want very much. Just a tiny, tiny line. Less is more with this liquid glue. I'm sure we all had glue disasters when we were in school. And I found the key is just to use less glue. That's basically it. It's amazing how little you need, actually, to make things stick really, really well. So I try to keep to that. Now that might be a little bit too much even yet. So let's see how that goes. All right, we're gonna do this. So you can see what I did. I put the glue on the edge of the side you're going to see through the hole. So now we're just gonna put this on here. And that should do it. Yep, we can see through the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna press all the way along the edges. And in fact, you could use either side of the paper. Both sides are really pretty. You could use this blue side as well. Looks kind of like misty moonlight to me. But we used the other side. So that's what we get. Kind of this peek through area here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is assemble some more of this card. And what I'm going to do next is take my card base, which is thick basic white. And I'm going to use my bone folder again here. Oh yes, I should put the cap back on this so I don't make a big blob of glue the next time. That's not what we want for sure. And then we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to put that on the card base. Okay, so there we go. So we've got all those on, and we're just going to stick that right onto the card base. Okay, I'll flip that over. Let's put it right side up. That would be helpful. Okay, so I like this white on white. That kind of design just keeps it clean, keeps everything really pretty, and it really makes the colors stand out so much. Okay, so now you can see at the bottom of this, this is Snowflake Wishes, I think, or Snowflake Magic paper, which is unfortunately sold out. But if you're looking for something that is a good substitute, there is a tartan foil paper right now, and one of the colors that you receive is actually Lost Lagoon, which is this color here. So if you need that paper for some reason, tartan foil will do the job. And I do have enough of this paper. I have quite a bit of it, so I have lots, so I can make up the packets with it for sure. So if you place an order of $60 or more with me to get these packets, I can definitely send you that paper because I have enough. All right, so here's the paper. So let's just put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on the back of that. I'll come back into the frame so you can see here. All right. And let's put that down just at the bottom here. And we will connect that. All right, there we go. Okay, so now before we put our tag on, we can put it on and just kind of arrange it. But you can see there's two more things here. So there's die cuts using the Winter Meadow dies. Now, I should show you those because I don't think I did. Magical Meadow, sorry. These are called Magical Meadow. The paper is Winter Meadow. So Magical Meadow is the stamps and the dies. So you can see they're very beautiful. You can cut them out in a variety of different colors and they're very lovely. And what I did here was I cut two of them. One in Moody Mauve, whatever, and one in Lost Lagoon. So you can see I have different ones. Well, it's the same ones, but in different colors. And it doesn't matter because they all match. So that's quite all right. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to arrange these kind of where they need to go behind the tag. And then we'll stick the tag on afterwards. Okay, so you can just kind of play with it and then stick that on at the end. So what I'm going to do is get a little scrap paper, and then I'm going to use that multi-purpose liquid glue again. And we're going to get this together. All right, so let's open that up. It should be working again now that I made all those big glue blobs the last time. So don't be like me. Don't make those big glue blobs. What happens to do that is you leave the cover off your glue for a few minutes. And because it has such a fine tip, you can see right there, it clogs it up. Now it's easy enough to get the clog to go away by just, you know, getting some glue out of it, just pressing a bit harder, and it'll dislodge that clog. But you waste your glue when you do that. So don't do what I did. So hopefully that's helpful. It just does dry up really well because, or really quickly rather, because the hole there is so tiny. All right, so you can see I am using like tiny drops of glue here. You really don't need much, and you just need one here and there to stick this on. And if you don't stick the whole thing on and have places where it lifts up, that actually makes it look more realistic. So there you can see what I've done. That one's a little bit too much. Let's take some of that off. I'm just going to put this cover on top. There we go. And pick a part that is not glued to hold. And maybe kind of like that. So you just need to tack it down with your finger just carefully and quickly. You don't really have to be too fussy about it. And then we'll put this one on as well. This one should be a lot easier even to glue because it has bigger parts. So we'll just put little bits. Doesn't need much. All right. So is everybody excited about the new catalog that comes online next week? It's sad to see some of our favorites go from the holiday catalog, but there is still the last chance sale on right now, and there's some bargains on some dies, like the Night Divine dies were still in stock last time I checked, and they are gorgeous. They make the best cards. I think they're so beautiful. If you visit my blog, you'll see I've made quite a few things with those Night Divine dies, and there's a really good sale on them right now. So do have a look at those if you need them, or the Stars at Night dies. Same thing. I've made a lot of things with them, and they're on sale too. So before they disappear, you still got a chance. All right, we're going to use dimensionals here. We're going to put them on the back of our tag. And then you can just kind of position it to wherever you like. So let's maybe do that. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then we need this ribbon. And this is the 2023 to 2025 in color jute trim. So this is what it looks like. And I'll show you the other colors. So they give you 5 of them. Pebble Path, Copper Clay, Moody Mauve, whatever, Wild Wheat, and Boho Blue. So you get all those colors, and it's amazing how many things they'll work with. Even if it's not the exact color that you're working with, they just go with so many different things. All right, so let's see if we can make a little bow here. So I just made a couple of bunny ears, going to cross them over each other in the middle and pull. But you can do your bow however you like. That bunny ear method works so well for me, and I found other people who say, oh yeah, that's fantastic. And then others who said, I can't do that at all. It does not work for me. So you do you and use whatever method is good for you. All right, so let's see. We can use mini glue dots to put this on. Actually, just one mini glue dot. It looks like I have one on that side, so let's use that one. And we'll stick that on right now. Oops, it curved around on me there, so let's just bend that under so it doesn't make everything all wonky. All right, and we'll just trim that other one. So trim this other tail. Maybe sort of like that. Now, that isn't really behaving very well, so let's take another little mini glue dot and we'll put that under the tail to just get it to come into line with what we want. So I'm just squishing up a glue dot here. You can see making it small. And I'm just going to stick it on there, and then you can play with it till it holds your ribbon the way you like. Okay, so that is the second card. So there you go. So now we've done 2 cards, and let's do our third one. So I promised that we'd work up to the more involved one in the middle. That's what this one was. And then we have another easy one at the end. So we're going to do another easy one. Here is what it looks like. So this is pretty simple to put together. It uses, again, those Something Fancy dies to make these tags. Let me show you again so you can see which one. So this is Something Fancy, these dies are called. And I used these 2 nested dies here to make those in Moody Mauve and White. And again, if you want the supply list, go to www.juliescraftaddict.com or just click through to learn more on this post, and that'll take you right there. Okay, so let's do this one. Let's start with our stamping again. I know not everybody starts with stamping, but I find I really avoid a lot of ink disasters that way. Maybe you're not like me and you don't have ink disasters, I don't know, but I have in the past. I like to avoid them. So we've used this one and this one. Now we're going to use the middle sentiment. May this season of sparkle bring joy and delight. And I really like this set because you can use this season of sparkle for any of the winter holidays, or it can just mean the sparkle on the snow. So it doesn't have to be a holiday set, but it can be. And I like the colder weather brings us together. It's a very good sentiment for Canada, I think, and winter wishes. So you can use these for people who celebrate winter holidays, people who don't. They could be a birthday card, winter wishes. It could be an anniversary card. It could be anything, really. And I like these kind of versatile ones. I just find that they're really, really useful. Okay, so we're going to use a different ink this time. We used Blueberry Bushel before, and now we're using Shaded Spruce. Okay, so here's our Shaded Spruce. I like this for sentiments as well. I have certain go-to inks like Shaded Spruce, Blueberry Bushel, Berry Burst is another one I like with sentiments. What else have I used a lot of? Oh, Night of Navy. So some of those really bold and dark colors, I just find that they work super well. They're very clear and they're easy to stamp with. So I really, really like those ones when I do sentiments. You can use some of the more muted tones for sentiments, but I find these ones turn out consistently all the time. And the other ones sometimes are a little fussy to get them to work. Poppy Parade is another one. That's a really good one. Real Red, of course. So any of those kind of bold and bright or slightly dark colors, they just work really well. All right, so let's use the chamois again here. And if you have any questions at all about any of this stuff I'm doing today, any of the projects, any of the supplies, just let me know. I'm very happy to help you out. And I'd love to have you shop with me or even join my team if you're so inclined. I offer projects somewhat like these, 4 cards, usually 4 cards, every month to my team members for $15. So That's one of the benefits they get from joining my team. And that includes the postage when I send them to them. And we have a wonderful time at our meetings. Most of the people on my team don't sell. Most of them just buy for themselves, and that's totally fine with Stampin' Up. They don't mind that at all. So I would be happy to have you join my team if you're interested. And I'd be happy to explain what that means if you want to know more. Okay, so let's put this together. So we want that nested label. So let's just use our Stampin' Seal here again. I just put a little line of it on the back, and then you can just stick it together. Pretty straightforward. That works. Okay, so now we're going to get this beautiful paper out, which is the Winter Meadow paper. And I'm going to use this one as well. And look, it has these lovely trees on the back, so you could use that if you prefer. But what I'm going to do is, again, flip these over and line them up and use regular tape just to put them together. So here's my tape. And I'm just going to stick them together so that they stay. And there's not a gap when you put them together on the card. And you can use less adhesive that way. Because instead of sticking 2 pieces, you only have to stick 1. All right. So has anybody else tried this Winter Meadow Suite or the Magical Meadow Bundle? I just find them so beautiful and just so appropriate to Canadian winters. I think they're so fantastic. The colors are lovely as well. So here's our Moody Mauve panel. We're going to stick that on. And I just eyeball it. You can go ahead and measure if you're so inclined, but I find eyeballing it is fine. There's enough going on these cards. You don't have to be too fussy unless you really want to do that. Okay, so the next thing we got to do is put on this ribbon. And this ribbon is actually not one of the colors in the card, but it matches. And so that's just a little tip to have a look at what you have in your stash, because even if it isn't the exact color in your papers, it may actually match anyway, just because Stampin' Up! Things coordinate so well. So this is actually Pool Party, and it is called 3/8 of an inch gross grain ribbon. Okay, and I like it. It's got a lovely texture, a bit of a shine, and it just goes really well to bring a little bit of shine and color here. So all I'm going to do is just put that out and make it slightly bigger than the front of that panel, because we're going to stick it onto the back with glue dots. All right, so let's do that next. Here we go. So let's take that one, put a glue dot on that side, and we'll put a glue dot on the other. All right. Okay, so there's my piece of ribbon, and you can see what it looks like on the back. That's it. And now what we can do is use our dimensionals and put on our tag. Okay, so let's do this. So I like to secure it on either side of the ribbon, because if you stick it to the ribbon, the tag moves up and down with the ribbon like that. And I like to stick it firmly. So I put it on the top and on the bottom of the tag or the label. And that should stick it on pretty securely. Oops, let's put it on right side up, shall we? And it may stick a little bit to the ribbon as well and just help secure that so it doesn't move around all that much. There, so that's good. It's firmly stuck on there now. And now we're going to feed a little length of it through here. And we're just going to tie a knot. That's all we're going to do. Just tie once. Like that. That's it. So very simple. You don't have to make a bow. I know some people hate bows. I don't mind them, but lots of people don't like them. So anytime you see a bow on a card, feel free to replace it with something else. Like one of these little knots. They look just as nice. It really doesn't matter. Just work with whatever works for you. And no one will be seeing the original card that you're working from except for you. So feel free to change it whatever way you want to. So that's what we're going to do there. Okay, and I think I will go ahead and put that onto my card base. And we will do that. All right. So if you'd like to know about future classes that I offer, about my blog posts where I post designs for cards several times a week, and that's free as well. If you want to learn about my product shares, you want to learn about shopping with me, being part of my team, any of these things, or all of the Stampin' Up! Deals that come out on a regular basis, please feel free to go to juliescraftaddict.com and sign up for my newsletter, because that's where I tell people all this stuff that's going on all the time. And I try to give them the news in as timely a manner as I can. And definitely, I'd love it if you'd be a follower on Facebook here for Julie's Craft Addict. Now look what I just did there. I hope everybody does this as well. I use these little teeny pieces on the edges because they stick just as well as the hexagons in the middle. And the small ones sometimes are more useful when you're actually doing projects. So I always do that. So, all right. So I put 4 on the corners. Oh, I forgot to put one on that corner. Okay. We'll cut one more. We'll put that there. And then we'll stick that onto the card. All right, here we go. Okay, so there we are. And please let me know if you've liked this class and would like to see another one like this. I was thinking of doing some throughout Celebration just to give it a try. And Celebration, which is Stampin' Up's biggest sale of the year, that is going to start on January 4th, where you can get a free item with every $60 or $120 spend. So if you were to spend, for example, $120, you could choose one free item in one category, or you could get 2 free items, 2 of the $60 free items. And there's no limit on how many freebies you can get. So it's a great sale, and I thought I'd do some special card classes during that time using the Celebration free items so you can see some ideas to use them. But I'd love to know if you found this card class helpful or not. That would be great for me to hear that. All right, so there is, whoops, I got a little piece of glitter on there. Okay, so there is the finished card all done. So that wasn't too hard at all, and you've got the little embellishments on there. In case you weren't with me earlier, they are the Iridescent Pearls Basic Jewels. So those are quite nice and give a little shine to the card as well. So let me just show you those 3 cards we made once again. And then I'll give you a preview of what I'm going to put on my blog tomorrow, in case you want to come back and do another card with this fantastic bundle. So there's the 3 cards we made today. I think they're so pretty. And I want to show you the card I'm going to be doing on my blog tomorrow. I just got to find it. I know it's here. Where did I put it? Let me locate it. Okay. All right. So this is a card that was based on a swap by my friend Joan. And I changed it again to suit my own tastes and supplies. So I put a panel inside. And this one, I'm going to be putting the instructions on my blog tomorrow. So please come back to see that at juliescraftaddict.com. I'll have a link here on Facebook for you as well, so you can find it. You can see I did the die cut from the Magical Meadow bundle in white this time. And I used all of the beautiful berry and greenery stamps and stamped down the side of the card. So using those stamps in a whole different way, not just for the sentiment this time, but for all of those greenery bits. So come back tomorrow and I will give you the full instructions on how to make that card as well. So just a reminder, if you'd like the card packets to make these cards, all you have to do to get them for absolutely free, including the shipping to you, is place a $60 order with me via Stampin' Up! Before tax and shipping, it has to be. And I will send you the class packets with all of these supplies that you see here, the paper supplies, the embellishments, and the ribbons. All you add is the inks and the stamps. But I will send you those packets for all 3 cards if you do that by January 3rd. And if you click through to learn more, the information is right there for you. And if you have questions, I'd be happy to entertain those at any time. So thank you so much for watching my class today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know. And have a wonderfully crafty week and a wonderful New Year's celebration. All right, see you next week. Bye for now.